I've never been world champion actually before, like being Olympic champion, and maybe it teach me like I need to lose, like to learn how to win. I was like, I need a plan, but it took a bit of time to find out my plan. I was always scared about riding in the rain. No, I will go live in the rain and see what's happening.
Welcome to episode 100 of the World Triathlon podcast, in which we get an hour of sometimes brutally honest reflection with the Paris 2024 Olympic champion Cassandre Beaugrand. Thanks as always for listening. Don't forget to tune in to Triathlon Live on Saturday the 5th of April as Cassandre goes toe-to-toe with Beth Potter for the first time this year at the Super Tri E World Triathlon Championships in London. Thanks as always for listening and enjoy the wonderful world of Cassandre. Cassandre Beaugrand is the Olympic and World Triathlon champion who shook off the pressures of home games to deliver the 2024 that she dreamed of. France's first ever Olympic triathlon medalist, only Olympic triathlon champion, and first world champion on the women's side, her development as an athlete across the Paris 2024 cycle was as impressive as it was successful. Now also the fastest French woman over 5 kilometers and aiming to become the first woman to defend her Olympic title at LA 2028. Fresh from gold at the Indoor World Cup Lievin, Cassandre, welcome to the podcast. How are you and where are you?
Hi, hello. I'm actually in Girona, where it's like finally sunny again after a long time in the rain. Yeah.
Excellent. Girona, your new HQ?
Yeah, so I've moved there after Olympics in September, and I was just waiting to see if I wanted to do all my base here, my base home here, and yeah, it's actually a very nice place. And I joined a new group, new coach, so I think everything is good.
Good times. And relatively fresh off a plane from LA, so yeah, thanks. Obviously brilliant to have our Olympic champ with us. Thanks for sparing the time. You're feeling all right? Your headspace is in the right time zone?
Yeah, it was a bit busy the last few weeks. I would say a few weeks, few months, but it's also nice because I know that it's because I had good results last year. So yeah, I'm enjoying it still, and I'm trying to train as much as I can while I'm not doing other things. So I don't have time really to chill here, but surely it will happen a bit in the season.
That time will come. Yeah, we've taken the time in the season to chill. Sounds a bit back to front, but I know what you mean. All right, so yeah, obviously want to discuss as much as possible the elements that came together for that win in Paris and look ahead to 2025 as well. But yeah, let's start in Girona then. New group with Belgium's Glenn Poleunis, right? Is that how you pronounce it?
I'm a Belgian, so I don't know, but I think there's something like that maybe. I just call him Glenn, so that's okay. Well, I had a chat with him when I arrived in Girona because so for a few months I was still with my ex-coach Gav Smith, and I felt like it would be quite complicated for me to continue my training with him when I'm not in Loughborough anymore. So I just wanted to see how it was going for a few months, finishing my season, and then I was like, okay, I think I need to have someone all the time where I'm training, and there is it looks like there is a good coach as well. So I'm just gonna have a chat and see how it goes, and then I will decide after what I'm actually doing. And it went very well, and yeah, I was a bit sad obviously to end up with Gav, but I think he understood, and yeah, I was also excited to start something new with a new group, new environment, and I think it was what I needed maybe post Olympics.
Yeah, so even in spite of that success, you felt like another renovation was kind of needed? Is that just, I suppose it's also the nature of the sport, right? To keep one step ahead of everyone and everything.
Well, I think it's quite. Everyone will think maybe I'm quite crazy to change when everything is going so well, but sometimes I've always changed when I was feeling I needed a change. So I always go for it, full gas. When I decide something in my life, I'm always going full gas and see after what's happened. But yeah, I was just feeling like, okay, I've been 2 years in the UK. It was like honestly like such a good time, and I will cherish that forever, because like obviously it's bring the best of me, and like I would say for like athlete point of view, and also like just human, like just for me.
Mm.
So I was just yeah, I think right now I need to see the sun again. So I was just like, it was still quite hard because obviously I was like, um, I had to go to school a bit, and it was not something I like to do. What I was studying, so I just wanted to live. Like I was like, I had such a good time, but when I was feeling I needed to leave, I really needed to leave, and I just wanted to like have this chill life, how I say, in the sun again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm from south of France normally, so it was a long time with no sun.
But you went to Girona then without a coach in mind and just came.
So
Mm.
yeah, like I just needed to leave after the Olympics, so I just
Yeah.
moved, and I was like, okay, I will figure out after that. I wanted to finish first my season, and just wanted to be sure, like I didn't want any change, like before the grand final, like, and I agree with Gab about that, and I was like, okay, like, is it okay for you to continue coaching me like for a few months, like if I'm not there? And they said, yeah, yeah, like it was okay to continue coaching me, and I think it was pretty good. So I think yeah, after that I was like, okay, I didn't tell him like I'm meeting some other people or something, because I just wanted to finish my season, go in holidays, off season. And I was like, I need to have my mind quite clear. And then I will see, like, I will think a bit more about it and see what I'm doing. So I I can't remember when I talked to Glenn, but I just wanted to meet him, because I've never really spoke to him. And then like I was like, okay, I have my idea of with a bit more, and then
Mm.
I waited after like the Christmas holidays, and we had to like actually like start joining the group. Yeah.
Do you remember like were there what the kind of conversations were or the plan, or presumably he must have had some very specific thoughts about you as an athlete, and the kind of those, what it was in those conversations that made you think, yeah, this is the guy that can take me on.
Well, I think I'm more an athlete. I don't need much more attention on me. Like I like being part of the group, and I like being part of the group, and then sometimes I like having some freedom next to it. So like it's a bit sometimes tricky, like having both of them. But I think he understood it well, and it's like very like the very good amount, like of attention I need. And yeah, I think we were like just, like we were having a good communication, and I think it was just good feeling them going well.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I think it's gonna be a good match.
You said, yeah, you said you're a very much like a full gas person, and like so that involves basically doing things your own way, does it? And following the path that you feel most comfortable with. And obviously for French triathlon, it was important that they let you do that, but presumably it must have been quite difficult for them as well, knowing like, they want to keep their hands on their Olympic hopeful. And
I think that's why I'm so confident about doing my own choice now, is like just because when I left for the UK, I was in a like how can I say, like like a center like for triathlon in France, in Montpelier, and I was training with a national coach, and obviously like I was with Leonie, and we were just like having, yeah, our group, like national group. And I was just like, I want to go there, like I chose to do that because I saw like also some other people from the French team, they were like having their own international group. And I think they probably think that I was a bit crazy, like just going in the UK, like they were like, what is she doing? And I was glad that I was still allowed like to do my own choice. And I was like, okay, now I will prove that it was the good choice. It can not be the good choice for everyone, but for me at the time, I think it was the good choice, and I it was what I needed, like at the time, just being out of my comfort zone. And I knew it will not be easy, like moving there, because obviously, like So many people welcome me well, but obviously, like, I'm still a rival, so like it was not as easy like every day, and I was just like so glad that I was able to train there. And I think, yeah, as I said, like, it was just not because of I just wanted to train there, like I wanted to have like just my own adventure there, and like I was better in English after that, like, so it gave me like so many more things than just training there, like just meeting new people, like new culture, like just all of that.
Yeah.
I'm not the person who was thinking about Olympics every day, I was just like enjoying my life.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just wanted to make new friends. And like, I think it's because I was feeling still good there that maybe I was better like to perform and stuff. But it's teach me also because I was quite someone, I would not say complaining, but maybe a bit complaining because like when you're like comfy in your environment, I was just feeling like, oh, I could just express myself more when I was in Montpellier. And when I arrived in the UK, I was more like, okay, I'm a bit more shy, like, and obviously, like, I'm not sure they really want me here. So I was more like trying to set my place, like just trying to be quiet and just like,
It's like the perfect antidote to being at home ahead of a home games, I suppose, right? Yeah, you could be in that like
also,
almost
yeah,
too
like
much of a bubble.
that's the thing. I was like, okay, also, it was already started after like Tokyo. I could feel it that it would be just Paris, 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 and I was like, I don't want to be like in that type of environment, when it's like you hear Paris every day, but like it's just a race. So like
Yeah.
I was someone quite stressed. I think I'm still someone stressed, but like I would say less. And the thing is, being there, I think it was for me easier, like just to be there and having something else going on. Like, I mean, everyone were preparing the games as well, but it was definitely different. Like, I wasn't hearing that every day.
Mm. Did it start out like, were you getting more stressed at the start and wondering if this was actually the right idea? And then as you dealt with that stress, so everything else became a little bit more kind of normalized and that then helped you to Paris? Or was actually like the UK not, was the move not quite as stressful in comparison, I guess?
It's weird because it was still like everyone obviously was thinking about it, but I've never like really like, I don't know, it's very different, I think.
But it felt quite comfortable quite quickly, did it?
Yeah, like I was just feeling that obviously maybe I could feel the stress also like from my ex-coach Steph, who was the national coach, that obviously she had stress herself, for us to perform. So I could feel it more when she was around, like before Tokyo. And I was feeling the stress she had herself because she wants to prepare us like quite well. And maybe that's why I was feeling maybe more stress or like, yeah, just more stressful environment, I would say.
So I guess if we're taking it back a bit, well, let's ask as well as we start the 2025 season. What can you tell us about the Cassandra that is starting 2025 compared to the Cassandra that started 2024? I mean, the start of last year was kind of crazy with Abu Dhabi cancellation and so on anyway, and then Quartera was basically your first race. Fast forward a year, we've just had Quartera. You didn't have to do that, obvious reasons, but yeah, how different are you as a person or your outlook towards what's coming up
Um,
next?
well, I think I'm definitely like not as much pressure than before, like than last year, for example.
Yeah.
And I feel just so much more confident about myself. Like I feel like just I'm in peace with myself, like I've done everything I wanted to do, like the best result I could have done, like and then I was just thinking, well, everything I'm doing now is just bonuses and like it's just like me enjoying what I'm doing. Like I just love what I'm doing and it's like crazy good when you just don't have any pressure because while I would stress now, like the most stressful race of my career is done. And yeah, so it feels just crazy because okay, I have seen this little stress that it's normal, because if you don't, it's like you don't care. Obviously, I think that, but it's definitely not the same. Like, and when I came back to Lievin, so I wanted to start my season way later, because I thought it was very early, like February for me. Like, I just started training again, as I said, in start January.
Mhm.
And okay, I've done this 5K, but obviously running is more something natural for me. So I felt more ready at this time for running race than triathlon. And then I was like, okay, like, what can I do to start my season? And then I saw like Lievin obviously was in France, and it was the best way to start my season, I think. Like, coming back with the French crowd. So I was like,
Yeah.
well, I think I would be excited to do this event and do something different. So like, I'm ready to try it. And then I was like going to the race being like, oh, I'm not sure I'm actually ready to do this type of very like hard effort, like very like fast and furious. But after one round, I was like, oh, that's exactly what I like, like it's exactly the type of format that I love so much. And yeah, I think I enjoyed so much my
Yeah.
time there. It was such a nice race.
And the fact that you clocked the fastest 5K time by a French woman hasn't sort of turned your head, hasn't made you think like, hang on a minute, maybe my priorities for 2025 should shift?
Um, yeah, this is crazy. Like, I've so for the little story, it was I was in going to go to my holidays, and I visited my track and field club and triathlon club Monaco, and like, we were kidding, and I was like, oh, should I race the 5K in February? And they were like, yeah, it's on the 5th or something. And I was like, no, I can't remember. When was it? I can't even remember. But I was like, oh, it's so early. Like, I don't know if I would be ready, because I need to take like very long holidays, I think. And I was like in December, and I was like, should I sign in? But I don't really train right now. And then I was like saying that to Glenn, like saying, oh, do you think it's a good idea? And I think he was like, well, maybe we will do some testing to see how it goes, like first, because he needed to test me a bit to see like all my zone and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and I think I was quite surprised myself about this time. I know I had the perfect condition, like I couldn't have better condition. Like, it was crazy good, like no winds, such a good weather. Like, I had a perfect pacer. So yeah, Niels was running with me.
Yeah.
So I was very glad that the world junior champion was pacing me.
Yeah.
And I think he was happy himself. So it was just like so nice to be able to do it with him. Like, he was just so happy to pace me. I was like, well, that's
What a
nice then.
guy.
And he was like completely at the end, he was completely shouting to me, like he was being crazy, and I was like, I can't disappoint him. He was like looking at the time, and I think he was like sprinting, and it was like just such a nice moment.
Because I mean, that last K was rapid as well, right? What was that one? That was
Yeah, like
2:49.
it's slightly downhill at the end. Like, you have a
Right.
bit of like a slightly uphill at the beginning, and then you go back, and obviously you have this like slightly downhill. So he told me, because he's raced this course before, and he said to me, like, it was funny because he gave me the tips. And he's such a young guy, and
How
he
old
was
is he? 17?
yeah, no, he's like 19 now, maybe
19.
18, 19. And he was telling me the tips. He was like, okay, last time I was a bit disappointed because I didn't, like, know that the last K was the fastest. And yeah, it was crazy. Like, I didn't expect finishing like that, but it was obviously the best part to like finish harder,
Yeah.
go faster.
So do you and Niels actually go back a bit? Because there was a great picture from Hamburg last year of him holding up the Go Cassandra sign and you having a little photo taken together and whatnot. So yeah, what's the story there?
Well, yeah, when was that? Like, it was just like we don't used to race that much with the junior. And it was such a good time because they had their own world championships there in Hamburg. And I remember we couldn't, so I watched it, but obviously we are like more focused on our race. And then obviously they were down and they were so happy to like watch our race. And it was so cute. Like, they were just always like our name on paper, and they were like just like sharing for us, and yeah, it was like, so now they are just doing it in many races, like every time we can see them actually. So
Yeah.
not that often, but yeah, it was a nice feeling. Same in Torremolinos then.
Is he? But is that because he lives near in Monaco where you were living, or Antibes, or was it?
Well, no, I didn't even, like the first time I met him was probably like in Hamburg
Oh
at the
right.
time. So they were just sharing for the
Oh,
elite, like just a nice feeling. So yeah.
that's awesome. So as a bit of Cassandra, realize I've been pronouncing your name wrongly for
Yes, that's okay,
years.
guys.
You live in the south of France, or lived in the south of France, kind of more grown up, but you actually your formative, your growing up was just outside Paris. Is that where you were kind of born and first lived, or?
Yeah, so I was in not a great area, I would say, not far from Paris. And then I moved when I was maybe 14,
Right.
in south of France,
Hmm.
and trained there like maybe 4 years until after I finished high school. And then moved from Antibes to Montpellier for 7 years,
Right.
where I was training with Stephanie.
Not a great part of Paris, as in quite like rough or dangerous, or just
Well, yeah, I think it's not the place many people want to be.
right.
That's
But it,
Antibes obviously like south of France was nicer.
yeah. So a massive contrast was it for the
Yeah.
14-year-old moving out and
Yeah, that was definitely the best move.
right. Did it sort of shape you as a young person being did you notice a different you as a 14-year-old? You're going through a lot of changes anyway, I guess, but like to go from a very like urban built up environment to somewhere just fairly beautiful and tropical must have
Yeah, I think it's also like so we had quite a hard time. Like we've lost my mom when I was 10, and we were like, okay, I think my dad wanted to like move completely and change life. So we just like moved all of us in south of France, my brother, my dad, and me. And then like yeah, we just started kind of a new life.
oh wow, sorry, I didn't realize that you lost
No,
your
that's okay.
parents.
That's okay.
Wow.
That's part of my story, so that's okay.
So by 14 you've kind of gone through a lot, seen a lot, had a
Yeah, I think I had like so many life already, and I'm just like just 27, soon 28.
that's
Yeah,
crazy. She must have been in your thoughts a lot then in the lead up to Paris, because she was from a running background as well. Was that right? Your dad like
yeah. I'm
marathon?
like
She was.
so my mom was an athlete, my dad was a coach actually, and um yeah, like she didn't know how to swim. I don't think she was a great swimmer. But yeah, like I mean, she just did that at a level.
Yeah,
And after it was more for like studying and yeah.
but as a kid, did you get to run together like, or was that
No, like
did you only start?
I don't have many memories about that, but I just knew I was like since I was born on the track, like my parents just put me there, and it was just my own environment, maybe just being on the track.
Yeah, because you were, I mean, very quickly like a very talented runner, national youth cross country champ, and a youth record in the 1500 meters in the 10K.
Yeah, I think it's just like I just wanted to like copy, the outfits of my dad. Like I was just like looking at them and I was like, oh, I want to be like them. Like I was just like this type of kid. I was just like always like looking at them hop on the track and I want to be an athlete. I don't know about being a triathlete, but I really loved swimming as well. Like um I was starting swimming, I can't even remember, like, but I was joining a swimming club when I was like maybe 7 or something. And I remember like really enjoying it as well, like just seeing my friends, and it was like great as well. Like that's why I finished like doing triathlon, but because I didn't want to stop one of the sports. But yeah, my hardest part, I think it's not a secret, was the marriage.
So obviously incredibly difficult losing your mum, but that will did that then just bring you and your dad so much closer together and sort of form this like bond
Well,
and part team?
You would have think that, but I think like the fact that he was coaching me as well when I was young. So he was my first coach, and I think it was actually quite hard relationship. Like I was not as close as people would think. Like it was actually very hard, and I think that's why I actually changed and live to Montpellier. Is because I just wanted to earn all of that. It was a bit toxic, maybe like being coached by my dad. So I just wanted to rebuild myself as an athlete and a person like in Montpellier. So I was more like escaping than actually like going there.
Oh wow. How old were you when you did that move?
I was 18.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, like I think that's why emotionally I think it took me a while to be like I would say stronger, like being very confident about myself and like being actually ready to race, like I could like do so many good races and sometimes so many bad ones, but just like because mentally as well, like I was not as strong as I am now. Like I had so many like little emotional breakdown, um, and I couldn't sometimes explain it that much. And I know like it's because obviously like all of my story or it's the part of my story. I mean, it can be many people, but that's my story, and I know it will take some time, to like rebuild myself and um yeah.
So it was almost, I guess, was part of the problem in Antibes and eventually in Montpellier a sense of like not necessarily being in control of your own destiny and where you wanted to be, and there was from quite early on quite a lot of outside pressure. Then was that something you felt?
Well, it was quite hard because like the problem that I had a bit with my dad mostly was like he was never really happy about what I was doing. Like it was never enough, like in terms of results, in terms of and I was feeling that, like that's why my confidence was not very high because I was always like putting down. And I was like, okay, I think it was a big work for like Steph when I arrived in Montpellier. It was like making me understand that I'm not that bad. And it was hard because I was just every time putting myself down. I was like, every time I was doing like great session, and I'm very competitive. So like even in training, I was competitive, and it was such a nightmare because I've never used to train with, for example, girls. Just in swimming, I've been training with girls, but never on running or whatever. So we had some issues. I had some issues, and I think I was very hard to coach. I thought to coach, but like she was very patient with me, and she said she was trying like to make me realize that I had the potential and that um I had to work on my mental mind, like it was my biggest like weakness at the time because obviously I was breaking like mentally, emotionally, and she said like yeah, like when you will have that, like for me you will have all the tools.
Yeah, that was the piece of the puzzle. How did those like the issues you mentioned? How did they sort of manifest themselves? Was it in terms of the relationships with the other athletes that you were sharing the
Well,
much
I
time?
just wanted I just wanted to race in every training. Like I was just like very competitive, and if I was not leading a training, I would say like I'm I'm shit. I'm not good, or like it's not good enough, or like every time I was like doing, even if it was just on my own, if the time I wasn't doing better time every time, like which you can't do PB every training, obviously. Yeah, like I was like, it's shit because it was what a bit I was hearing with my dad. So I was like,
Oh man.
yeah. So yeah, it was a bit crazy, but I think I realized that after, and it's crazy because like obviously after the Olympics, like the only I was like just thinking so much about all of it, like all the way like to go there. It's not about the race itself; it's about like all the path to go like to this race.
Yeah.
Because like for people it can be just yeah, like it's just winning a race, but for me it was like such more like it was such a big thing.
winding it back all that way to every small race, every small training session, every emotional moment that you.
But that's why, like, also in World Juniors, like, like when I was doing good results, like on the young category, like I was second, and then the year after I was like, if I'm not doing better than second, that's not good. But obviously you can't win every race, and you can't like be, like sometimes that's happened that you can't win and you can't do better or like whatever, and you have to finish the race. And for me, like, it was just like, it's not worth it. Like, I was like just completely like, yeah. It was very bad. Like, I had such a bad mindset before, and I think that was a long way to work on it.
And were there other athletes that you were like obsessed about beating at that time as well? Like,
Well, I don't even know, because like I had like, I mean, I would say my biggest rival, like I was very scared about her all the time, because obviously like she was the one that like was riding like I'm not riding as far as tight on hip. And I was like, every time going, and if she just like break away, I was like, see you later. Like, like there were nothing I can do, like in junior and under 23, like I just remember Gold Coast, and she just like break away, and like we had like 2 minutes in the group after or something, and I was like, what can I do? Like, I can't run 2 minutes faster. Like, it was crazy. So I think, well, I was just like, it just teach me, like, okay, like I've never been world champion actually before, like being Olympic champion, and I was, maybe it teach me like I need to lose, like to learn how to win like bigger race, because I was so upset I've never won the world championships. That's, yeah, it took time.
so all those people that you were training with that were probably like, wow, this girl is like, she's hard, she's just thrashing it in the training. But actually, there was a sort of, the reason behind that was a more fragile you that was just struggling to sort of come to terms with that situation.
Yeah, I was lucky enough, because like the people I was like were around me like were just like good people, like I was lucky enough, honestly, like in all my life, to get very, very good people around me. And I think that's why also like it's bring me here, like they all teach me as well. Like Leonie, she was so kind with me when sometimes I was just like a nightmare, and I think she just took me like I was, and she was like, yeah, like it was like, honestly, she would have hated me sometimes, and sometimes she was like trying to help me, and I think she knew where I was coming from, and that's why like maybe sometimes she was allowing me something that normally people would be like, just, I will leave you know, So
So for the real story behind Cassandre, we need to speak to Leonie and Steph. Is it?
no, so there is many people like, yeah, that's obviously were around me when it was not good, and I think, yeah, like, is that all part of my story, all these people, because like everyone like helped me, like small amount or like big amount, like to help me like rebuild myself. And obviously, like the fact that also I was training with Yuri, it was like she made me realize, she's such a good athlete as well. And obviously, like I was very good in training. Like, I'm not someone like too bad in training, I would say, but obviously she's good as well, and like she pushed me as well, and like same with other athletes like we'll have trained with. Like, it's just like you have to learn how to train with them and just like respect them, and yeah.
And then only a year later, you were in Rio, right? At age 19. So you'd only been in Montpellier for 1 year, and then suddenly you're the youngest person on an Olympic start line by a full year. Laura Lindemann was like 1 year older, and she was the next youngest. I mean, how does that fit into the puzzle?
I think so, yeah, my qualification, I think I've learned it very, very late. So I've never done an Olympic distance before that. So I had no idea what I was going for, like I was just like, oh, that's so cool. I'm going to Olympics. That's my dream. Because at the time, like my dream was to qualify for Olympics. Like, obviously I never like I was always dreaming about having medal and stuff, but at this time I was like, wow, that's crazy. I'm already like doing one of my dream, which is qualifying for Olympics. And I'm 19, so obviously I was like, wow, it's crazy. So I had nothing like to expect about this race. I was just like, wow, I would just like enjoy it so much because there's no expectation. I would just try my best and see. And it's how it goes. Like I cramped all the way to my 10K. I've learned. Uh, so it was still a good experience because like it was such a hard race, but at the same time, like just did everything I had to work. And I was 30 for something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So racing without any expectation, and yeah, your first Olympic distance in an Olympics.
I can tell I was not stressed at all on this race.
That was the least stressed you've ever been compared to everyone
Yeah.
else on that start line. You were the one that.
Yeah, I was just having like a Christmas present. Like, I was like, just wow, like, they offer me that. Like, I didn't even think I was deserving like this place at the time. I mean, I was racing well. I was doing good results, like for France, but like, I was like, yeah, maybe it was obviously a bit early, but I think it's good because it teach me like what is an Olympic game, like how it looks like. And then when I discovered it, I was like, okay, no, I want more. I've been there. No, like I want more if it's possible.
I did wonder from both Rio 2016, obviously Gwen Jorgensen winning, and Tokyo Flora. Do you remember seeing her in that post-race moment and on top of the podium or whatever, and the photos subsequently, and thinking like,
Right.
that's got to be.
She was probably on the podium, but I didn't finish my race. I was still running, maybe. So I don't know, but I think I was just like, yeah, like I was just looking. I didn't even know the girls. I was not really racing World Series for a long time. I mean, I was already at 17 doing my first one in Hamburg, if I'm not wrong. But the only person I was really looking up was Andrea Hewitt because she was in my club in Poissy, and at the time I was more racing French Grand Prix, and she was the one I was like really fan of, like I was really looking up. Like she could have been like 10th or like third or like whatever. I was always looking up at her because I was like, I don't know, she was just so chill, and it's what I couldn't be like before the race. And I was just like, wow, like this girl, she's just amazing. Like, I don't know. So it was not even performance, like point of view, she could have been good or not good. And I was like, just wow, I really like this athlete. Like, she's such a nice person. But those are athletes, I was like, obviously watching races, but still, I was not that much into triathlon. I think I was just like racing sometimes. And I knew them a bit more, obviously being on the circuit, but not that much.
Yeah. But then fast forward to Tokyo then, and Flora winning and then getting her world title. So and you'd obviously got a lot more racing by then too. What did you being Olympic champion feel, and having in that goal within you somewhere, did that feel attainable at that point? Were you like, okay, this is what I've got to become?
No, I'm not gonna lie. After Tokyo, what's happened? Like, I was so depressed. Like, I will never be able to like perform on a day. Like, I was literally thinking that about myself. Like, I remember calling my best friends and being completely like in tears. It was super hard because like Leonie performed very well. Like, she came fifth, and me, I was like in the same mood, and I was like, I didn't even finish the race. I was last group on the swim. And just because I couldn't even under the pressure that I put on myself, because no one really were expecting me to perform. I was just like putting that pressure on myself because I was no, I want something more because I already did Olympics, and now I knew I was in good shape. I trained very well, and I was like really doing sessions that I thought were good to perform. And I think that's why I put myself in the situation that, oh, I really want a medal. And I think I was just not ready mentally, like, to do that. Because, like, as I said, no one were expecting anything from me. Like, they were, okay, we need you for the relay a lot. Like, it was the main thing. But for the individual, like, they were like, okay, like, the guys have better potential maybe, like, to the medal than the girls at the time. And the thing is like, I finished this race. I was like just crying for a few days. I can't even remember. I was just like completely like down. And I just wanted this Olympic to be done. I
Yeah.
was just like, even the medal, I was so happy about the medal because like I was still impressed that I could put myself back into racing, even if it was hard, because I think maybe the other athletes were maybe doubting about it because you don't know how the athlete will react, like I was just like not talking for 3 days and it was maybe rude for people and I just couldn't do anything else. I was just like so depressed, so sad. And then I was like, oh, I want to finish my season. Like after the Olympics, I was like, I'm done. Like I'm not gonna go anywhere. Like it's not working. Like I just need to be like far from triathlon.
Yeah.
I've been in holidays. And then I was still watching like some results, but not watching races, just looking at the results. And I was like, you always think when you're not part of the race, like, oh, like I wish I was still doing it.
I could be
But
there. I could have beaten that person.
well, maybe not because I was not very in good position to say that,
Uh,
after Tokyo. But no, I was just like, well, I think it's still good that I haven't been racing because like at least make me more hungry. And I think I realized more. I was like more thinking, like being like, oh, okay, like I never want this to happen again. Because at first you're like, oh, I will never be able to perform on a day. Like I was just like that. I was just like so negative, like being, like everything I've heard all my life, like I have potential, but you will not do it. Like I was just hearing some stuff like that. And I was like, what are this person are waiting for me, like what I'm supposed to do? Like I don't even know which result I'm supposed to have, or like, like I was just hearing potential and I'm like, I don't know what's it's really mean because potential can be everything. Maybe my potential is just like being at Olympics and being, I don't know, top 20, top 30, like, because if I think even if you have the potential, it's just one race, one day. And if you don't have the mindset and if you're not ready to perform, like mentally as well, it's hard.
Mm.
But I was not consistent enough anyways at this time. Like I was just like, okay, maybe I need to be more consistent, like maybe to be able to like be better also on the day.
Wow.
That's
I thi-
why
Sorry.
like I was like, I need a plan, but it took a bit of time to find out my plan. I knew it was quite hard to find that I wanted to live somewhere else because when you've been in France all your life, you're like, I didn't speak good English at all. Like I would not even be able to do a podcast like I'm doing right now,
Yeah.
obviously. So I was okay. Like it took me 1 year to like find out I want to move. I want to like move from France and put myself in another situation. I was always scared about riding in the rain. Now I will go live in the rain and see what's happening.
But put that into, so that was end of 2022, you made that decision about Loughborough, right? That was
Yeah. So
uh
it took me still 1 year. Like I still raced the last year of the season in 2021.
yeah.
Abu Dhabi came top 5 maybe. And then I was like, okay, I still need to find out what I'm doing. And yeah, it took me a bit of time because obviously I was visiting a bit in Loughborough and seeing like how can I maybe join there. And yeah, I think it was a bit complicated because I had to join through a student visa and be a student. So it took a bit of time and then I was able to come in September.
So were you able to deal with the Pontevedra going in as a favorite for the world title and that not happening, and the test event and coming second, and like, were you able to deal with those defeats much better? Even the way that you came out of those, did you feel, okay, this is a different me, and I can still be very positive about 2024?
I think so. I remember 2020, it was 2023.
Pontevedra and test event 23.
Yeah. So I knew I was more consistent. So my consistency was getting better. And I was very proud about that first. I know I was improving. I was searching because I was cramping every Olympic distance still. So I knew my sprint was okay and my Olympic distance was never okay. So I had to find solution about that. It took a bit of time. And obviously I didn't find a solution on Telegra. I was counting test events and selling Telegra, but at the same time, like I've lost, I was not strong enough. Like I didn't even find this excuse. I just cramped, but I was not. This is because I wasn't strong enough, you know. And I was very sad and very like depressed. I think so. Like I was, why it's never happening to me? You know, like I was like, I've been always second, and I was like, okay, I can't be also so sad because it's a big improvement. I see second in elite. I've never done that, obviously, and if people ask me like the year before or after Tokyo, I will have stand for it for sure. So you have to remind you that, sometimes when we're like, oh, that's not good. I was like, well, my mindset's starting to change because I was more positive and being like, okay, it didn't work. You're very sad, but it's not, like the position you've been in Tokyo or something. So I thought I was on the good way still. And I was like, you know what? Like, I just have to put myself in better position next year, like to work more and try to improve like these cramps, why is it coming from, and you have to work on it. And we actually talk a lot about it and we found solution. And then first Olympic distance, obviously 2024, Cagliari, didn't cramp. But I was in so much pain because I had a nail it was pulling off in my shoes. Sorry about this little story, but it was such a painful thing. Like on the last few K, like I couldn't feel it that much at the beginning, but then it was like very, very, very painful. And it was starting to be on my mind, so much. And I dropped. It was like the last kilometer or something. I remember I dropped a bit on the group of 3. And then I was like, oh no, like I was like, actually, I'm thinking, you're not doing that. Like, come on, you're actually not, like just this little voice, like, oh, just leave it, it's okay. And then I had my other little voice, like, no, 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 you're not doing that because if you do that once, you will do that another time. And I was like, okay, you're never doing that again. Put myself back in. So I was like, no, I will show that I'm fighting, because the problem is like, if I was showing that I drop again in my mind, like for me, people will know that, okay, they can still beat me on my mind. And I wanted to show, no, like, I'm not the same one, I'm not the same cast that's used to like give up or something. And I wanted to show that before Olympic, I wanted to show that people will have to go harder, like to make me drop mentally. So I put myself back and I was like, you stay here now. Like you're not being the one with drop again. And I was like grabbing my teeth. And then like I did this spring and I was like, I learned like, wow, I was like, I can't imagine I've done that. Like mentally, like just like I knew like something was happening because I was thinking about all of that, dropping and then be like, no, no, you're not doing that. So I think it was a very good win for me. Like
That was a
mentally.
big race then. That was a huge moment in the context of.
Yeah, for sure. Like I was like, okay, that's the beginning of it. Like and I know that I give like such a powerful like message, that I'm not giving up. Like whatever, like I'm gonna go hard until the end, even if I'm suffering very much.
And those around you must have felt that as well, Lisa.
Yeah, but it's
God, they must have been like, okay, this is the CAS 2.0 that we feared.
Well, but it took a while for having something like that. But I was happy that when I did that, like I was very happy. I was like, I don't know how it will look like, but it's still like, like every message you can send on the Olympic year, like it's good. Like I was like, mentally, I'm very more confident because I know even if I'm struggling or if I'm like, I know that now, like, my pain, or you say like, level, like it's like much further. Like I can just, I move this one. I can be in so much more pain than before.
dig another depth, find a ledge beyond the edge, and go again. So that, I mean, you actually left Cagliari thinking Olympic gold is realistic now. Is that like,
No.
oh,
So no.
a bit more?
So like it's after I've been in my training camp in Torremolinos and I raced Hamburg, and obviously I was very confident. Like I never thought about Paris. Like I never thought about it. Like even in Torremolinos, like it was just everywhere, Never thought about it. Like I was like, and because I had this little voice in my mind all the time, still negative, being like, you know how it will happen. You will like cry before the start, and you will like not be good again, like because you can't handle the pressure. So I was like, I prefer to not think about it at all and see how it goes and just take every race like it's just triathlon. So I was just taking every race after the other.
Your
And Hamburg,
brain, like actual self-defense mechanism, was preparing you for the worst case scenario already.
yeah, like it was so bad. Like I had just this PTSD from Tokyo, I think. And it was just coming back every time. And every time I was trying to think about Olympics, it was coming and I was like, I don't even want anyone to talk to me about that. Like I just want to like race my race, and I don't want to imagine myself because like in Tokyo I remember like I'm such a big dreamer and I was like trying to imagine myself doing well and stuff like that, and I was dreaming so much about it. And in Paris I promised myself never thinking, never dreaming, never like always putting that, like I would just do like my race. That's all. And then we will see after that. So yeah, I think Hamburg was good because it bring me also the confidence. I was like sending another message like that I'm ready to race, and but then you never know because like the day like it's can always change, and I can actually like be not myself anymore and be like the old Cass when I'm actually crying before the start and very stressed. And obviously, it was the same scenario as well on the morning of Paris. It was raining, so I was great. Yeah,
Then you remembered Loughborough and all those glorious.
exactly. It's exactly what I said to myself because I remember being a bit panicking on the way there. And we were looking at the weather, and I was like, "How unlucky is that? That it's another Olympic in the rain. Why it is raining every time?" And then I was really saying to myself, "You've been training in the UK for 2 years, not for nothing. Please, not for nothing." So yeah, I think I was trying to like just put everything on the side and focus on what I had to do because I had my plan. So I was just like, it's just I'm doing that for like 20 years. I have to do that one more time and trying to do the best as I can. And that's all. It's just another race.
So even just before that race, there was still a bit of old Cass lurking in the head.
I don't think that much. I was very focused on the moment. Like I was just trying to do everything, like all my preparation. Also, we were a bit late, the French team. So I think we didn't have time to think too much. We are just like trying to
Oh, what,
run it.
you were delayed getting to the site?
Yeah, like
Bridge.
it's just like we didn't expect the rain on the morning, so we went from the hotel we were staying in, and we came by van because we didn't want to get soaked. So we decided to go by van, but it was a bit longer, and obviously we had to run up more because we didn't come by riding by bike. So yeah, it was a bit of a of a unexpected delayed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I was really not thinking, trying to not think same, like being on the moment and what I'm doing every little minute, like. Um, but I remember just coming next to Georgia before the lineup, just sitting there, and I threw up. And then I was like, great. That's not what you're hoping for. Just 15 minutes before the start, obviously. And she was like, "Are you okay, Cass?" And I was like, first, she's my rival in like 15 minutes, obviously as well. She just see me like string up on my feet. And sometimes, she's my friend. So I was like she was trying to help me. She was like, it's just a triathlon, please, like you will be okay. And I was like, yeah, I'm okay. I will be okay. And then, yeah, I was okay. It's not ideal, but I've done it before, like where I didn't feed that much before the race, and I would just try my best to feed during the race, like it was not ideal, but shit happened to everyone. So you have to team.
If you haven't thrown up, you haven't shown up, right?
I wish it was after the race, not
Yeah,
before.
true that.
It was still okay. Like I was like, yeah, I wasn't doing that. But I think what I told myself at the time was I was trying to put myself in a situation where you already missed Tokyo, like you've done such a bad race. It didn't change your life. It makes you super sad, but it didn't change your life. And I was like, this race series, like basically all these people, they're here for you, like for the French, obviously, like all the French crowd. And you can do well and you can do like very not good, that everyone would be so happy to see that. And I just wanted this race, whatever like happened, to be the best of my life. Like just, like the memory, like because I was like, there will be just one time I'm racing, Olympics in home, at home. And I was like, I just wanted to be like the best day of my life anyways. Like even if I do bad, I wanted just to be like, okay, no.
Totally. And then that picture of you sort of folded over on the finish line and with the Olympic rings around you and the tape, and like it's mad to think that photo will like outlast us all, right? That's a thing, a tangible, beautiful moment. And in some ways it's those photos that just keep popping back up and recurring, that just give you that little nudge every once in a while that, yeah, that really was real.
Yeah, well, it still sometimes feel unreal because, like, I think I'm more shocked about the performance I've done on the day than actually, like, yeah, it's just crazy because I never thought that during Tokyo. Like, I was like, what? Like, even I think there is people who are still believing in me, but there is also these people who are like, well, she will again, like, um, do not as good because it's just a stressful moment. And I was more in the side of these people actually before the race, and when it's happened, I'm just like I think I was just very proud about like all of this, like all of this story. Like it's not just, this like events. It's not just this race. It's like just everything like put me there. So yeah, that was a nice end of the story, but I hope it's not the end of of all the story.
God, no. Yeah, it was like a hoodoo that was broken, and a line that was turned, and then Torremolinos proved that, yeah, that, you know, where. So the backstory of the swim. Sorry, I know we've gone on over time here. I won't take too much more
That's
time,
okay.
but you veered off course. I mean, there's a Cassandra that would have perhaps before Paris reacted in one way, and the Cassandra that just, I guess, gritted your teeth. Did you go, for God's sake, you've just won the Olympic, you've won a home Olympic medal, you can get around this situation as well?
Well, like the thing is, I've been training and putting myself, in still training and stuff like for this world title because as I said, I've never been world champion, and I just wanted to show that the Olympic title was just not um like lucky, like just luck. So I was okay. I want to show that I deserve to be world champion as well, and that I deserved also this Olympic title because I wanted to show that I I improved. Like I I worked so hard and I put myself in so many situations that I want to show like that I'm this athlete now. And didn't start well, obviously, in the Torremolinos. And honestly, when I was completely lost and in the middle of nowhere, etc., I had this time where I was like, well, what I'm doing now. Like, I didn't even want to turn around to see if I was literally last. But I saw after the replay, I was last at the first buoy, and I was okay. In my mind, on the time when I was in the water, I was just like, well, there is nothing you can do now. You're not gonna come back or like ask someone to take you on the jet ski, because it's like humiliation. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, it's like, I would be so ashamed. And I was like, the only thing I can do is like, well, maybe we'll laugh about it later, but I have to like work hard and try to get into some fit, like, and even if I'm last group, I know I can run fast, or like, I was like, even we don't know on the bike, it can like just join two groups. I was like literally thinking I'm gonna try to go back on the last group because I was like realistic at the moment, and I just saw, I don't know if there is someone behind me, but I was like, well, I'm very far from the people I see right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just swam as fast as I could, try to be better on my orientation, and I was just looking so much more. And yeah, like after the first lap, I just saw I was like with people. So I catch people on the way back on the first lap already, and I was like, great, I'm in contact of people. Like, I'm just not gonna be alone, like behind all groups. I will be with some people. So it's not that bad. I was more, like positive than before. Because there is nothing I can lose. I was so cool that I've been Olympic champion anyways. No one will take this title from me. So now it's just like, I need to show that I'm another person and I'm fighting until the end. Did the second lap, and honestly, like, I was just like going hard. Like, I just didn't even control like whatever I was doing. I was just like trying to catch as many people as I could, taking the inside every time. And second lap, I see that when I'm going to transition, that there is many bikes. And I was like, did I cut did I cut the loop or something? But I was like, no, I did everything good this time. I was like, I wasn't lost or anything. And yeah, it was great because like I was, wow, like before I would never have think that I would be able to be back in the race. But obviously it's 2 hour race. It's like an Olympic distance. Like, there's so many things can happen. Like, you can have crash at the front, like on the front group, like so many things. So yeah, until like it's done, it's not done. And I think it was the most incredible race I've done. Like, for the Olympics, I would say it was more the most incredible mentally, like handling the pressure. But in terms of performance, this one was big. Maybe the best one I've done. I think I was also a bit lucky that everyone were a bit tired at the end of the season. I think everyone were like mentally like, yeah, but I think everyone were a bit exhausted at the end of the season. So happy that it happened at the end of the Olympic year because I was still full of confidence, and yeah, I knew like it was not easy for everyone to get to the end of the season. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I did actually.
And there was a fierce Cassandre that we saw at the end as the sort of protest sort of drew out a little bit, that was just like, this is not getting taken. I've gone through too much this race to have.
Exactly. Like, I think it's what I was feeling like. I couldn't even believe that because I was, you know what, I've done the best performance of my life, and I don't even know how people can protest against that, like, I've done exactly the best race I could have done, and I've been doing so much this season to show that I improved, and I was not thinking, I think I was hurt because I was like, I can't believe people can do that to me right now when I've been trying to be the best I could, and like I was crying the year before in Pontevedra because I was not good enough myself, and now like I'm being good and people are trying to take that from me, and I was like, it's not fair. Like, it's this one I've been like going hard to take it,
Yeah.
and I was like, I think I deserve this one, and I was like, I'm sorry if like people thought it was not the case, but I knew myself like deeply. I remember just like waiting and being like, okay, like I was just saying like, what's happening if it's I'm disqualified? And they were like, you're not world champion. And I was like, very like, but deeply I knew I was, because like I've done the best year of my life and I've been like at the front, and I was like, it was sad because I've never thought badly about anyone, like when I was not good enough, like the year before, I would have never think about protesting against someone. Like I would have been, I'm not good enough. Like, but I was like very sad because like, yeah, I don't know. I knew it was maybe not that least protesting, but just sad, But after, like, I was happy again, but I was just like, oh, they just took my moment, because like it was the moment you want after like having such a good season and yeah, being finally world champion. And yeah, it's just like going away, but that's okay. Maybe I have to try again.
I think that's the key. Get that moment again. And I mean, I feel like I could listen to you for hours, but I know you've got places to go as well. But just building up to Yokohama, building up to Algera, what does 2025 look like? First things first, London, I guess. We're just under a week away from that now, so that's a big one. You love a bit of a super tri poolside red line sweat fest.
Yeah, like I think it's fine. It's just nice doing something else, like, and well, it's just like putting yourself like a feedback like in racing and having something a bit different, a bit of Fast and Furious, and yeah, like I know it's not the same as an Olympic distance, obviously. So after I'm having a good block of preparation for Yokohama,
Okay, so that will be race one
yeah,
of the
that
series.
should be my race one, and then let's see after that. Like it didn't smile to me last time I've been in Yokohama, so I hope I will finish better.
Yeah.
Um, but then I should race maybe Sardinia, and after we see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just nice having the feeling like same. I'm so in peace with myself and just like so excited to race, and yeah, just the feeling having nothing to lose. Like it's so nice.
I can only imagine, yeah. But equally hungry still to stay at the
I'm
top,
still
right?
hungry for sure. Like I'm a very big competitive person. I'm very competitive, so I think it's just come naturally every time. Like even if I don't think so, like I came to like Lievin, I was on the starting line and just came. Like it's just like that. I know like I have this in me, so like I can be chill now, a bit more chill maybe, and it's even better because like when I'm on start line, I know like when the gun is on, like I'm just going for it. I'm excited.
Well, best of luck. Look forward to seeing you in Yokohama. Best of luck in London. Will you be watching the women on the T100 over breakfast on Saturday?
Yeah, like
Cool.
I hope so if it's not too early. I'm gonna see what time is it.
I think it's 7:30 start, so perfect over your porridge.
Yeah, if I'm awake, maybe. Yeah, let's see.
Well, thanks, Cassandra. Much appreciated. And yeah, have a nice evening. See you in a few weeks'
Thank
time
you.
in
Thank
Japan.
you.